I'm I'm back. I I was nicely interrupted earlier today. Um, I'm probably going to do this again for like another hour or two. We'll see. I mean, I might decide to just cut it short. We'll see. I just I wanted to play Minecraft again, and I figure I'll have you guys with me. Um, Especially because I'm not doing anything, and I took a nap, so I'm re-energized. So yeah. Um, okay. We're gonna go back to playing. Today's the 4th, right? Yeah. Okay. I should delete the other one because I don't remember when I last used it and all that. Um, but yeah, I remember earlier I was originally rambling about Outlast, and I did take a nap with it with a video playing. I really like to watch the Achievement Hunter Let's Play of or the Let's Watch of Outlast, which is Gavin and Michael, I think. Um, the whistleblower DLC, and I was watching the first part. I had like 20 minutes left, and I was out before that. Um, I assume I was going. So it's just keep going. Like I said, I want to find the cherry blossom biome. Um, this time I'm gonna keep an eye on my chat because I did do that last time. Um, I thought so. I know what do they call it? I don't know. I thought one of my settings me to. I thought one of my settings allowed me to see your guys' chat. And I was like, no one's gonna be watching this anyways. I was wrong. um, so yeah, so I'll keep an eye on the chat there, but I'm still keeping an eye on my phone because I was trying to text my besties, my ladies, um, my sisters, but we're all just low energy lately, and I haven't really been up to texting that much until recently. So they might not have been expecting me to do much texting, anyways. But yeah. It's just it gets really annoying for me when I want to text, and it takes me like 3 times as long as it did before when I have my arm like this. Um, I am, like I said, getting a little bit more confident now that I can take the cuff and collar off because I don't want to go that far. Okay. Let's see around this. Is that better? What is that? Is that darkwood? The music in this game is so nice. Look at how pretty this the sunrise in this game is. Sorry, I don't want to make you guys too you know what I mean, dizzy with the way I'm going. But yeah. I guess, well, we can try getting off here. We'll just go on land again. But yeah, I'm not doing much lately, so, like, why not? What else am I gonna do? Come on, mouse. What's wrong? Okay, I think it was just stuck. I don't know. A bit. Hopefully you guys can hear me fine. I know my audio's being low, and occasionally it seems like my audio gets choppy, and I'm really sorry about that. I'm probably gonna switch over to using my actual computer these days. It's just I gotta clean off my desk, and my desk is a huge mess. But yeah. I don't know. I feel like I was catching up on sleep that I didn't have a little while ago. Oop, am I not? Oh, I forgot. No, I have a. What do they call it? Yeah. Anyways, I wanted to ramble more about some other stuff. Like my current, the current thing that I've been looking at is Outlast, but before that was the probably my favorite thing about is Hannibal, the show, Brian Fuller's creation. It had Mads Mikkelsen, Hugh Dancy, Lawrence Fishburne were like the main three characters, I want to say. Of course, it was um, Dancy and Mikkelsen were the main two. Lawrence Fishburne was another like big character. It had oh the woman played that woman that played Scully in the X Files. Um, right now all I could think is Belia. That's her name. Oh God. Um, it's gonna get to me later. I'm gonna be so annoyed with myself. Um, uh, at the end season there was 3 seasons. I'm. I mean, I hope they make more at some point, but you know, it is like a somewhat old show at this point. Um, I think they're gonna have a reunion soon, like one of their like reunion podcasts, like events. Do I gotta get out the book before I break it? Yep. Okay. But yeah, that's the show. I've been obsessed with one time before that. Well, I think I knew Outlast before. I haven't been obsessing with the lore the web lately. Um, and before that, it was the Hannibal. It's amazing. Honestly, there's so much symbolism, and it is. I don't know. It's so good. It's a show you could write a book on, and I love to read the fanfics. I'm like a AO3 girly. I don't really use when I was fanfiction.net was a thing that I use. I think nowadays I would probably cringe at it. Um, and I've like never used Wattpad. Um, I know a lot of people think, but I don't know. In my head, Wattpad is like for younger people in a way. I see you. I see a little like Z waving person. Uh, oh, nice. Our other sister, uh, completed making her deck. She's been wanting to put together that desk, or well, a desk for a while. No, are you? I don't know that there's anything I can do about my audio cutting out though. Um, I can get closer to my screen if that'll help. But I don't really have like a mic. I'm just using the you know. I don't know. Is there something I could do about the audio, sis? That you know of? Because I think it's just my internet, right? Probably. I can I can attach my earbuds, but I don't know if that'll help. I guess we can try it. Arm, work with me. We can see if this will help. Hold on. Let me. Also, I'm sorry, sis, because you've heard me talk about Hannibal a lot of times now, and I was gonna ramble about it. Maybe I'll pick something else. Oh, holy shit. My siblings can attest I'm very annoying about it. I was obsessed with it for like I don't know a few years. I mean, I still am. It's slightly on the back burner right now to the Outlast. I am thinking about. But I hear like a. Is that a chicken or is that just lava popping? I don't know if the mic will help. Mm. Sorry, I'm answering my messages, sort of. Um, sorry guys. I was looking at my thingy. I don't know, just having this mic help? Or, hold on, let me check. I might have to change it. Ooh. It looks like it made me louder, sort of. Uh, hello. Kind of fine.
Hello.
Hello. I don't know. I played around with them. Mm, yeah, if my audio is cutting out, it's probably the Wi-Fi. And Sally. I don't know that there's anything I can do about it. Mm, hmm. Other than stop, but I don't feel like doing that. Hmm. But yeah, I am. Besides the obsession with Hannibal and Outlast Whistleblower, I do have like non-horror uh interests. So I was crazy. I am crazy about Good Omens. I was so excited when season 2 came out. I can't wait to see what they come up with for season 3 for the like how they're gonna bring it together. Or I wonder if they're gonna bring in the idea that they kind of teased at the end of was I think it'll be us against everyone else. Earth against heaven, which I'm like that would be that would be interesting. And how our boys are gonna like figure things out. Um, I mean, there was also I know someone was pointing out a game and had a tweet of like, oh, that's a pig. Um, Talking about how he thinks all relationships kind of have to have like a breakup so that they can get back together. And I think when he said it, he was referring to like little the gazebo scene in season 1. But now I'm like, was he planning on having this like already? Because that one didn't so much feel like a breakup as much as this did. But also people are there's so many theories and it's so good. I love it. Um, I also wonder where Fuller go with the show if it was if there was a season 4. I know that they were talking about how they would have for from MGM, I think, for Buffalo Bill and Clarice Sterling. But like, how would that go? Um, Also, mind you, haven't read these books. I should though. I am interested in it, but I love Will Grimm's character. So interesting. I think I did end up visiting one of the um places that it was filmed at one point. I think the movie one of the movies because I have watched all the movies except there might be one that I haven't seen. So I've watched Hannibal Rising, um, Silence of the Lambs, and The Red Dragon. But I think there might be mention of another one that came before all of those. I think it's called like Manhunter or something. That's might be the only Hannibal one that I haven't seen. Um, if that is one, I think it's supposed to be. Um, yeah. Stuff is happening. But what too much? That's my genuine question. Sorry, we're having a another chat. I kind of want to answer it, but I do want to give this a chance to put something else in. Um, we were talking. We're somewhat debating what makes someone yandere, which I know it's like supposed to be crazy slow. No, yeah, that's true. You don't know how to have that character answer it, but I'm like,
like we know morally when when a character is like acting yandere, but I'm also like, um, with our characters and their like gauge of morally gray. Like, there's only one character that we talked about that is like actually moral. All the other were basically morally gray. So I don't know that they have the best gauge, anyways. I just that's why I had her ask what makes someone a yandere. Oh God. Oh, that made my day. um, I guess another big thing about me is that I like to role play, and it's not what you probably what your first thought of role playing is. Um, it's basically D without the dice, and this. I wanted to say the like the character sheets, but that's not entirely too true because we have a long ass spreadsheet with character names on it and their ages, their heights, what they like, what their abilities are, what their names mean, all these things. Um, so we kind of do have like character sheets, but we kind of don't. Like it's not hard and fast. We don't like the rules aren't that restrictive for us. I think the only thing is okay with me. I like because I'm kind of DM. Um, especially for the last two. Like well, like the main one that we did and the one we did last. I kind of but so I kind of made the rules like for the one we were doing before. For some of the people that knew me, I want to say in the beginning of university or in our community college, they know that I was doing Lux Academy. If you were in with classes, that is like my creative classes and all that, because I would do like snippets of this. We were doing one called Lux Academy, and it's kind of like my own homebrew world um, that me and Ruby have been doing for a while now. Like I said, we met when I was 10, I think, or it might have been 11, but that we did start like role playing soon, early on, and we were using that like my world. And then I met Michaela. You're gonna have to help me out, sis, because I don't remember fully. The time when I met you was after like the big incident in my life, so my sense of time is screwed up. I think it was like second semester freshman year, or it might have been the first semester of the second of my second year. I know it was early on, and because it was like a year after like the big thing happened to me. Um, oh, that's true. We did meet in high school. I think our mutual friend Christina tried to introduce us once, but you seemed shy, and I was kind of like, I don't know. I didn't talk to too many people outside of my like my normal friend group. I mean, I'm the same way now, right? Like I keep my friend group kind of small. Um, okay, yeah, you think it was the second semester of the first year. I think so too. But I met Michaela in our creative writing class. Um, oh, a kitty! Oh, this one looks like the outdoor cat that we feed sometimes that we call Speedy because it's gray with like some stripes. Um, but yeah, I met Michaela then. But how many years was that? Like 6 years ago, 7? I don't know. I kind of want to ask how old were we when we met. Oh God, that's Christ. But I'm tempted to build the house here, but I still want to keep looking for that biome though. The red thing on the ground. Oh, I don't know why it looks so different from up there. I do want to go in the this place, like the chapel. Um, but yeah, me and Michaela met like slightly less than 10 years ago. I think more than 5. If I break this, will it come with me? Cause I'll throw away this chest. uh, I do have to make another pickaxe, so do that. And then I got to throw the pickaxe away. Oh, no, I did not mean to move the watermelon. Well, I only have that many. Well, but yeah. Let's see. Oh, no, I just broke it. Sorry. um, but yeah, when I met Michaela, I kind of wasn't talking to Ruby at the time. Even though me and her had been friends for a very long time. I don't know how to explain it. Oh, I can take it. Okay. In that case, I'll throw this away. Because I kind of... Well, I guess what am I going to do with the acacia log anyways? Okay. Acacia, acacia, I don't know. So when I met Michaela, and I don't remember how or why it came up, but I think maybe I just told her I like to roleplay, and then I asked if she did too. Or I had a feeling, I don't remember. I remember it seemed like you were embarrassed to admit it, and I was like, oh, nice. I was like, perfect. And then I was excited. I was also like, okay, I want to roleplay with this girl. As soon as we started to, because I had Michaela here DM, um, which I don't usually do. Usually I like to just start with my homebrew, but like I don't know, I wanted to see what kind of thing she was gonna do. And we started, and then I was honestly like, this girl would fit so well with Ruby. Um, so I introduced them. And then almost immediately we were like, okay, let's make uh, somewhat my homebrew, but like we messed around with it. Like we made like some slightly more new rules, and one of the rules of that RP was that I remember starting with was like, hey, we can make our characters as kind of overpowered as we want to, but there is one thing I'm not gonna allow this RP, because I used to, because like I said, I've roleplayed with Ruby for like a while. I just wasn't into her time for like I don't know. It was only like a few that me and her hadn't been talking. Um, there wasn't any. I don't. There wasn't really any bad blood or anything. I was just depressed at the time, and I didn't feel like talking to any until Michaela came around and kind of snapped me out of it. And I don't. You have no idea how much to me, but and you didn't even have to do anything like special or specific. You just were there, and you distracted me. Because suddenly I was like, you know what? I can escape into this world again. Yeah, you're special to me. Don't tell Ruby, she'll get salty. No, I'm kidding. But yeah, you're special to me. um, and it's one of the reasons of you. But yeah, like uh, you got me playing again, and I was like, okay, I gotta introduce the girl to Ruby because Ruby's gonna love her. She's gonna need her too. The guy Ruby was dating at the time, I knew him. He was like our mutual friend for a while, and I I knew him, and I was like, I know eventually this boy is gonna like break her heart, and he's just not, you know. Like the thing is, I feel like he'd always wanted to be with Ruby, um, but I also had the feeling that once he got her, he wasn't gonna be able to keep the fantasy in his head of her. You know, I don't know. He wasn't right. We'll say that. Um, and so I was like, she's gonna need Michaela because, like, you saved me. You're gonna need to save her too. uh, and I don't know. I think we both did help when that eventuality happened. Um, like we were able to distract her with RP and keep her happy a little bit. And then and now she's with a guy who is. I think he treats her better. Um, but yeah. Um, so but yeah, I remember that one of the first rules that we did for Lux, or that I was like, this is the one thing let's not do, because I have roleplay with Ruby for a while, and our old RPs did, which is we would add characters that are overpowered, but we would also, which is somewhat fine for me. I'm like, okay, I'll just make the enemies harder. We start inflicting psychological damage, or we do give them weaknesses, but the thing that we used to do a lot was we used to have characters come back like that, and I don't know. I think it ruined some of the fun of like there are consequences to your actions. So at the beginning of Luck, I was like, okay, here's the one thing we're not gonna do is we're not gonna have any character resurrects or anything until this one point comes up, and you'll know when it comes up because I'll tell you. Um, which is when I introduced the God of Death, or one, Mrithun. He was fun. He was an interesting character to play. Because okay, you could bring a character back, but with these limitations, and his limitations were he would take off 4 years of your life, which could be there and older. Our characters were all young, but still, it was like, hey, you don't know, especially considering that our characters were not human. One of the factors we gave them was these characters die young. Was like as a it's like a generational curse kind of thing. Like you have all this power, but you burn out very quickly. So so like someone having to this god coming along and being like, I'm gonna take 40 years of your life could be like, oh, so I'm gonna die in like a year. You did not know. And the other thing was, um, he would take less years. You gave something up, like if you sacrificed a part of yourself, and usually he took like a talent or an ability. I think that might have been it, but it also the person only had the time that you gave him. So it's like you give up 20 years, but you're giving it to that person. Like if you had sent in an hourglass, you'd be doing summer sand in an empty glass, right? Um, along with like a little gift. Um, oh, oh, the little fox with the derpy face. Did he just he whacked berries and didn't pick them up? Aren't you gonna eat them? Uh-oh, what did he eat? No, are you poisoned? Do not die in front of me, little one. The cute little faces, Akila. I don't know what those are from, but they're adorable. Aw, the I want you, but I think I can only get him with a bone, huh? I can't get him like fish or something. The the wolves. I mean, I think I could feed him. I don't think I can get him. Oh, the emotes are for a streamer you watch. They're adorable. Oh, but I like the wolves. Um, but yeah, so I don't think we've imposed some of those rules with the new RP, which is DD University, DU. Um, but I mean, there's somewhat still like we have rules. I just can't think of them off the top of my head. I don't know that this time we said that we couldn't bring a character back because I was like they're gods, they're not supposed to die anyways. But yeah, um, so we call it role playing. Yeah, yeah. So I don't think because Michaela said that someone bring characters back. Yeah, like I didn't impose that rule with this one because I was like, well, they're gods. It wasn't like the other RP where we were like they're not gods. They're like I've made a point of saying like you can give them like semi godlike powers, but they're not gods. They can die, and if you do it too early on in this RP, it'll make you permanent until I induce that god. All right, now that he's like set the rules for the world, you can bring back whoever you. Oh well, yeah, but that was different. That was like a character that died before the RP. I was mostly talking about like our um I was mostly thinking of our means, like, because Ruby had this type of. I think you might have this one, where she will kill a character and then have them completely change their look, which is fine. But it was I didn't want it to happen super early on, so I was like, okay, this time there will be consequences. So Ruby, do not kill your character. You can have her almost killed, but don't do it. I didn't impose. I was like, they're gods. They shouldn't be nice. Well, they're damn god things. Um, and so there's that. My mouse keeps like sticking to this book that I'm using as a mouse pad. I had a spare mouse pad, sir, and I cannot find it. I don't know where my dad moved it. So I'm using I'm using the normal stuff we had when we took classes together at our community college. But yeah, so that's like we were to play. Um, we do it over text, so it's not in person or over video chat. We will talk about ideas on video chats, which is kind of why we started to do this together a little bit, so we can record our talks. But also, I don't know, there's plenty of people that have been doing like TikToks where they talk about their books and some lines or some of the things their characters have done, and their books aren't even out yet. So I was like, why not? Let's just start like sort of promoting what the book I would eventually have. Um, Plus, it gets um I do better work like someone's watching, like people are waiting. Does that make sense? Like when I was taking classes and we had to have like weekly. Oh, get the boat. Where is it? There we go. I had to have like um weekly or every 2 weeks. So my whatever I came up with, I was writing way more than I had in a while. So I figure if I feel like people are watching and they want to hear what the story is about, um, it'll convince me to keep going. I do have a few chapters. I have like 100 pages, I think. Um, Probably 100 plus, because I do spend a lot of time in beginnings of books because I like set up like what everything looks like, what characters look like. You know, anyways, I think the beginnings of things are always the best. Um, and stuff like that. I mean, technically, we kind of finished where we thought book one would end, which is the end of the year. And right now our characters are like they're on a break, but we do plan on having to do like another year. I mean, we think the point of the universities is 2 years. Oh, I think that was one thing that I said. That was the one kind of rule that I gave, which was our characters will only become gods at the end of 4 years. Um, not before, because I was just like, that's how long it's gonna take. Because I didn't want Ruby making her character too overpowered too early. Where we're just like, um, I wanted it to be like, no, there's a reason that this school for 4 years, why it takes that long. And I don't explain it immediately, but or if that's part of the pitch of the story, but I know that was like a rule. Oh, well, I think it was to train with the Lux Academy, which is like, because with Lux Academy there was the thing like if you wanted to become a god, you had to have three things. One, have a following, so you had to have worshippers. Two, you had to have well, you had the power, right? Like you had to have enough power to be considered godlike. And three, you needed to have a sacrifice. Which what is that emo for? It looks so cute. You're writing notes. I love it. It looks kind of like Phoenix or something. But yeah, three was you had to you had to give something up, and sometimes it was obvious what you would be given, sometimes it wouldn't. And that was around when we started to tell the DU story, because it was we had been doing Lux for like a few years, and then I told them, I think it was like around finals or something. We were getting stressed out, and we had a kind of finished a big part of the storyline, which was they killed some of the big bads, and I was like, okay, we can introduce some more new ones. We were gonna explore stuff with a your characters with Sis's characters, but um, then we had all these things planned. Like we had a timeline and everything, and like, okay, this will be. Oh gosh. Um, but then I don't know. We were all stressed out. We couldn't, and I was like, oh, the next thing that was kind of like a major event was we were gonna have our characters meet the gods in the world, and I kind of put it as like they have all of the gods that we kind of believe in on Earth, right? Minus the Christian god, god with the capital G, but all the others would be present, including who's like we said he's like the only god in the world that was born in that world. So he's kind of like the only one that really has a right to be a god there. It's something else. Because, like I said, it's my homebrew world. It's not Earth, even if it's somewhat like it. Um, it it is fantasy. We do fantasy. I should have mentioned that earlier, but I think that was obvious. Um, we did what? I looked away from the chat. Um, what did you mean we did, sis? Uh-oh, is my stuff freezing? Hmm. Bum, bum, bum. I don't remember what the "we did" comment was for. Um, but yeah, I just remember being stressed out, and we had everything planned, and we were just like, it's gonna be a lot, and we just didn't have the energy to write it. And so I was like, honestly, can we try something different? I want to do this RP, um, that has all the gods that we were talking about, but I kind of also want to do a lot of obscure gods. Like I don't want to retell like the Olympians' perspective, and I kind of want to like I want to do Lore Olympus or the what is it, Gods of Olympus School or something like that. That's on YouTube, but a little bit more Percy Jackson style, where like we would take their children, but we wouldn't do the main gods. So we even talked about like Persephone and Hades would be out because of like Lore Olympus, because it's getting more mainstream. Oh gosh, that was loud. So let's do more obscure gods. Um, like the more obscure, the better, because then we can't really offend anyone. You know what I mean? 'Cause can you get upset about a god that no one knows all that much about? So um, yeah, I chose to do Subigus, who is the god of domination. He's a god that would like quote unquote make the bride submit to the groom on the wedding night, and that was meant in also a soul, not just like the whole oh what has happened to me. Um, not just like oh he makes like like her the perfect um housemaker, which I think was a compliment in Roman times, was for a woman to be homemaker. Um, but yeah, and I chose to his daughter, but she's also a demigod versus a godling, so that means she does have a human mother. And I had it mentioned like, oh, a lot of people expect me to be very submissive because it's like if her dad is the god of domination, why would he not make her the perfect woman slash daughter for like a home? Like isn't that in his nature? And Domi kind of lets people assume that until she starts talking, in which case she's like, you better knock that off. Um, so yeah, this has just ended up into me talking about the RP now. So if you were with me in like closer to like my last few years at university, you already have heard of this probably, because I was mostly taking my English classes and I was writing bits of the story in all my classes. I can't help it. I hyperfixate on things, and the RP is one of those things because it does take up um it takes up my headspace, and I do with all these stories try to write them out, but it is different and difficult because I take a story that I've kind of already written and told to two people, and then try to put into a book format. But I do to see for it to be eventually made into like either a TV show or like a full cast audio, you know, um, the way like Sandman or some of the um, what else did Neil Gaiman do? Sandman and I'm pretty sure he did another full cast audio of something. It might have been Good Omens. Um, yeah, I think it was for Good Omens. Um, that I would love to do something like that, and I would love Yomi's voice. I was telling the girls like I kind of used to give Domi over. Um, cause I did when we started to do this, I did kind of purposely think in my head like Domi would be me, or she would, yeah, she would just be me, but slightly more assertive and aggressive. Um, besides that, she obviously has ability I don't. It's the yeah, personality wise. And I mean, she's morally gray. There's things that Domi would do that I would never, because I am too cute to go to jail. There's no way. I'm not doing that. Um, not without good reason. But yeah. Um, so I don't know. I've always kept like some of the ways that Domi reacts to things is the way I react. Um, or like she doesn't do anything so outrageous that I'm like, okay, I could never do that. Um, I well maybe for like a few things that we did in the RP at the beginning, but I think with the book there are some things that I might change or point out Domi later felt bad about. Because the thing with the book is that I can write the behind the scenes with my character Domi. I can say like, oh, she did this one thing, and later in her room she was obsessing about it. Like, why the fuck did I do that? You know. Um, but that's not something that I would put for Kayla's or Ruby's characters to read, find out about. Because why would I? Someone is calling me, but let me see. Oh, I missed the call. It's fine. If it was important, they'll call me back. I don't know. It didn't say like a spam, like a scam call or anything, like it sometimes says. Figured I would try to answer it, but it wasn't meant to be. Um, yeah. Um, peaceful thunderstorm. There's a lot of bees. Oh, they're so cute. I want to squish. Like, could you imagine how squishy it would be? Um, but yeah. The way I pitched it to the girls was I want to do these characters, obscure gods, but they're children, so like even more obscure. We have more freedom to like mess around with them. And that's kind of we said. I said I kind of wanted to do it one of two ways. Like the character could either want to be exactly like their parents, but for whatever reason they just can't be because the universe doesn't need two of those kinds of gods, really, at least. And it's kind of like they could successfully do it, but there would be like no, they couldn't progress. They couldn't like their parents. They managed it. Um, and the other opposite would be, or they really don't want to be anything like their parent, but then circumstances happen and the universe is just kind of like the reason it did it this way. Um, so there's that. Like, there's a reason your parent went this route. Um, because I did want to have that like a theme of like, the gods aren't always like wrong. They're not fallible, but I did want some things to be like, the like I don't know, like Zeus kind of comes off as an asshole at the beginning, but then later when our characters get to know him more, it was kind of like, oh, like he kind of wasn't being like he wasn't he doesn't mean to be, but Some of the reasons why he becomes very like controlling and like a jerk is because he's trying to he's like this is how we've done for a very long time and it's kind of worked. As far as he knows it's been working. And so he's kind of like why would we get from that so harshly? Um Not like oh it is broken so let's not fix it, but he was just like he was like, oh, well, we've tried all these other ways before, and they didn't work. And so that worked so far, or the best as far as he knew. Um, like one of the things about DU is that it seems a little bit like the school is segregated. Like, we had eight different pantheons. You're still here, so cute. But yeah, there are the eight pantheons, and it's Chinese, Japanese, Egyptian, Roman, Greek, Norse, Mayan, and Aztec. Are those are the gods that we were gonna do more, but at one point I was like having some medical issues where I would I have this inner ear problem and it's called mirrors. Um and at that point that's when it started to happen a lot. It hadn't really happened before. I was making this spread of like all the gods we could pick from. I started to have trouble, and I don't know if it was the scrolling up and down on the spreadsheet. If it was like it was just time that something was gonna happen. But basically, the fluid in my inner ear gets kind of like gunky. It sounds gross, but yeah, and it kind of makes me feel like the room is tipping to the side, and like, and it it's a really weird kind of dizzy. I call it like I think it's vertigo basically. It's not normal dizzy. It's like I'm tilting to one side, like rocking. Um, and it's really kind of like disconcerting when you have your head still and the room is still going like this. It's really and sometimes I got nauseous. Um, I had to lay down and just like sleep off. Um, it's happened twice in like this last month, which has been kind of annoying. I don't know why. Like on the one hand, I've been probably eating too much salt, and it's like it has to do with, me not drinking water, and it's kind of also a side effect of like it can be exacerbated by like being anemic, um, and blood sugar and stuff like that. So, but it is like it's just the fluid on my ear just isn't being fluid enough. So really the only way to fix it is drink water and like lay with my head like perfectly straight until it relaxes, like fixes. Because otherwise I get nauseous and I'm just like, throwing up. It's not gonna happen. Um, so yeah. Um, so I was like, I don't know why, but I'm suddenly vertigo and I gotta lay down. Um, so I was able to do a lot more research because we also got a little bit of information after a while doing research for like a month and putting together names while we like slowly kept going on. Um, and so I was just like, you know what, fuck it, we're starting. Um, and we sort of got something started, and and now it's like, I don't know, a few years now. It's probably been a year since it's probably been like 3 on both of them. But this one we did like we have kind of gotten to like a stopping point with like a book in mind. Same with Lux. So okay, this would end book 1 basically of like this bad guy has been killed. Now we're gonna look into um like another bad guy and some other some more slightly less um problems like mm, like now that this guy is gone, we have to deal with the other minor um, villains before we wrap up with a nice bow. Um, and then with this one, we finished the first year, and the first year was like the one of the things that we did was, like I said, we kind of tied it back with the whole you have to make a sacrifice. Um, but this one, and this is why it takes 4 years, is you have to give 4. But that's kind of why the gods make you take the 4 years. Is like they want all of our characters to one learn how to use their abilities, to want us to learn how to. They want our characters time to learn what kind of god they want to be, because a lot of kids go start going because they have the power. Doesn't mean to become gods though. And one of the things we mentioned was, hey, a lot of our characters, the as they just stop, like they drop out before they get to their last year, and they don't become gods, which is kind of like they have their abilities, but they don't become immortal. Some of them just choose just to go to the school because they just want to learn how to control what they can do, and it's somewhat fair. I mean, some of them are dangerous, right? You have the power of a god and like a human-ish body, probably, or even a godling is like um yeah, it doesn't necessarily mean they want to become a god. It's a lot of responsibility. And it's something we don't really talk about, but it's there in the background. Um, at least in our RP. I mean, I feel like with the oh, my brother just told me Oreo just came by, which is one of the outdoor cats, like Speedy. Except Oreo is a Cedo cat. Speedy is the gray cat with stripes. Um, off track. Right. Um, oh, well, one of the things that we don't talk about in the RP, but that I think of, that I keep in the back of my head, is that our characters are somewhat like yes, they have godlike powers. But we can't forget that kind of the function of them being gods is that they do things for the so they are kind of bound by contract in a way to do what they're asked. At least in some ways, in some circumstances, it's not entirely unlike summoning a demon or like making a deal or you know, making a deal with the devil. Like you get these you get access to these abilities, but and this other character is bound by it, but hopefully they get something out of it that's worth it. Um, and so that is a thing that I feel like some of the past godlings or demigods have considered of like if I actually become a god, that I have to do what the humans exactly, and I may not always want to. Like I'm probably gonna be it might be something that I don't agree with, and I'm gonna have to do it. Um, if they're not specific enough they're making themselves a god. So I made it every 4 years is because at the end of every year they have like a ceremony where you would announce what kind of god you're being or you're gonna be. Um, they would announce the things like offerings they would take as a god, and they would give something up. Like they would sacrifice something for themselves, and depending on how big a sacrifice it was, that would determine how much power they have. So let's say a character really loves chocolate, and so they get to give that up. And that means when they give it up, it's not for like a year or whatever, for the rest of time, for eternity, for as long as they're a god. And once you're a god, that doesn't really stop. Um, so they would have to be very careful and selective of what it is that they give up because you can't undo that. Well, you can and you can't. You can undo it if with the next ceremony and say like, you know what, I did the year without chocolate, but I'm gonna change it and instead I'm gonna give up, something else, and I'm giving something up else as well. You get four things in the end. Sometimes some people have chosen physical things. I mentioned, you know, your character could think they're giving something up, something specific up, and it's just it's not what they think. Like the character who's already vegetarian is like, I'm gonna give up meat. Fine. Um, but that does mean they're giving it up forever. So, 1,000 years from then they can't change their mind. They only change it before the final ceremony. And the thing about it is, some people, like, if you were vegetarian, you gave up meat, so it's not that big a deal. Well, then your power isn't gonna multiply that much. Um, maybe if you're like a nature god or something, maybe that's not a big deal to you. You're like, all right. It was always my plan. I don't have grand um, plans of having like intense power, but for some other gods, they do want power, so they try to give something up bigger. So we saw that like maybe a character gives up love, but maybe they give up all aspects of love too, which would then prompt them aro, like aromantic. Which maybe for some people that's not a big thing. Maybe for some it is. It depends on how big a part love was to them. But I also mentioned, hey, the universe might decide you weren't specific enough, and it might decide to somewhat screw you over. And it could decide that when you said all aspects of love, that included other kinds of love, like not just the romantic, which is typical, like that we see in movies, but like what about familial love or the love that you have for a friend? Like, so some characters might get screwed over if they're not very specific. Like they might become powerful, but for some characters, having power doesn't really mean anything if you don't have your family there with you, um, or you no longer care about your family. That would be kind of weird, horrifying, or like just they can't make that kind of relationship. It doesn't matter that it's not romantic. It's not their main point. And so, yeah, they could be powerful, but they also probably become like cold. Um, so that's kind of also why the gods have them for forward, so that way they can think, like really think about all the aspects so you could give up and how to back. Um, like they try to warn the characters, like, hey, what you're giving up is really big, and you might might want to make it a little bit more specific. You might want to say, I only give up romantic love, or an idea of romantic love. Um, or maybe I give up on something like monogamy, or um, give up on like food was like the safe bet for a lot of characters, but some characters wanted to go big, and they would give up something that's like not substantial, like something you can't touch or feel. Or well, you can feel, you can feel love, but not in the physical sense. Um, I think we had a few characters with some interesting stuff, but yeah, I told the girls like, depending on what your character gives up in the end, that will change how much power they have. Um, and sort of. So on the one hand, you don't want to give up something huge because it's forever, but you also don't want to give up something so small like it doesn't really feel like you progressed. Um, and I feel like in some ways we had some controversial choices, but I did purposely make some characters pick things that would screw them over later. So we'll see that more when we get to the second, because now they have the consequences of the things they gave up. And like I said, sometimes things aren't really a consequence, or these that could become consequences much later. Oh, there's another one of these like things. I can see like a little cage over there. Aw, one guy in here. Can I get him out? Let's get him out. I don't know. I like the iron golems because usually they don't attack, the player. I don't think. I think if you attack him first, he does, but I'm not gonna attack him. Well, I'm on peaceful anyways, but he's just there to protect the village. You can get out now. He's so cute. Are these supposed to be the jack-o'-lantern stuff? Are these scarecrows? They're cute. Oh no, where are the fairies? Let's get them out too. Yeah, I think that was the main pitch of how we see was obscure gods and their children. And it's gonna take 4 years for them to become gods and die. Um, how do I get in here? Is there a door? Or do I just break it down? Are those like little spirits that I let? Are they like existing? Is it like a normal game? Like, would it have killed me if I set it free, or are they like they're just nice? Oh, okay. So you don't know either. Like I'm tempted to switch the game difficulty up to easy to see, but I'm also at like probably like a raider camp or something. Ooh, what is this? Sentry armor trim. On a bottle of enchanting. What do I get rid of? if I want to make room for these things. I don't want to give up the string because I'm like, that's. Wait, are these also clogs? Spruce star oak. I guess we can get rid of them as long as it's not the jungle wood. I want to get this. Should I take the carrots or the bottle of enchanting? I want to keep the jungle sapling though, because you said trees. Because for the cocoa, right? I'm gonna need it. If I want to make more cocoa later. But yeah, I don't want to get rid of the string because if I'm on peaceful. Oh, one of the sets of cobblestone. Okay. The carrots, I think, right? Or the arrows, a big thing. But yeah, I don't want to get rid of the string because if I'm on peaceful, I'm not going to be able to get string from a spider. Unless I guess if we find like a mine with cobwebs, but that's not going to be easy to find either. Yeah. I mean, like I said, maybe when I find the place that I'm going to stop at, I'll turn it to easy difficulty and then actually like play it like that, but I don't think I'm stopping here. I just came in to look and see what they had. But yeah, I don't think I fought one of these places. I did at one point have the pillagers come to my house, but that's different than coming across one of their little camps. Oh, look at it! It's so cute. It's such a good color blue too. But I want to find the cherry biome. I found it in the other one, in the one that you and I are gonna probably play in these days. Um, but yeah. Yeah, so I've had them show up to my house in a game, but yeah, I've never come across their their camp. They bad in my ear. They're so cute. I do. Hmm, I think they would be so fluffy in real life. The sheep. I want to find more iron, but that would require me mining. I gotta set up a bit more first. Because one of the things I do with mining is I end up mining down, like always, unless I find a mountain to mine into. But you can come across them when exploring the pain in the butt, because they have the big ram monster. It looks like a shield from Pokemon. The rhino or whatever. I would, if I was exploring and I came across one of those, I would die because I would not be prepared. Can you outrun like a mob? Because if you can, I would do that. I would just immediately run like it's a Pokemon battle. Be like, no, I'm not doing this. I would leave. This is why I like casual games and that I can set on peaceful because I get so stressed out by like games that I gotta be ready to. Um, I was playing Worth Legacy, but um, it was also stressing me out though when I was like, I gotta fight that thing, and it's like huge and it takes up the entire screen. I was like, I'm gonna die. Oh, oh gosh. Or like Skyrim, I can do some of the quests. I still like even though I know exactly where some like drugger are gonna be in some like in like Heath Barrow's the very first place because I've done it so many exactly where everything is, and I still get anxious walking in there with a bow, and I'm like, I know where all the secret stuff is. Kind of like if I walk into this room, I could just shoot from here, but also I can set the place on fire, and good luck to the drogger. But I still get anxious, and I walk around as soon as I hike somewhere, I'm like my heart is pounding, and that was one of the things I had to do in the Hogwarts Legacy. It does help that it's of a smaller screen, and I cut and mash. Um, that helps a lot with getting rid of my anxiety playing. I have been playing the Palia on it because Palia doesn't really have enemies. Does it eventually have enemies? I do like that it's like a big farming game with none of that. It's just like Stardew Valley, you do eventually have to go down the mines, and it can get kind of. I got better at it, and I figure if you only do like 5 levels at a time, it's. Oh, I found it! Do you see it? The cherry blossoms. I want to run, but I'm pretty sure there's a cliff right here. I don't think in peaceful I'll die from it from the drop. Will I? Probably can, huh? If I drop from high enough. But broke my ankles. Um, but it the cherry blossoms. I completely forgot what I was saying. Look at them! They're so pretty. I love how the ground is covered with them too. The sad thing is there's only a few of them though. I'm tempted to be like, let's find a bigger one, like a bigger biome, but I've also walked so far. Yeah. Which one of these hills has like the most flowers on it besides this right here? Like, should I build a house on this hill or one of the hills across from it? Like that place. Hmm. Sometimes I look at my stream and I'm like, it looks like it froze, so I gotta get back in it to make sure it's not frozen. Okay, I was just making sure that you guys can see what I see. Which is the cherry blossom. Okay. But yeah, I'm either building my house here on this hill, which I'm probably gonna flatten. What is that? Donkey, I mean, but oh, that's like a piece of land sticking up right there. This is a pretty area. But yeah, I can either do it on this hill or that one across the way. I think I'll do it here now that I'm looking at it, and it's way bigger than I was. I might flatten some of this. I know it's only a few trees, but we can make more trees, right? I think. There's probably a way. Okay. Let's I guess we'll start building. Oh. I did. I found the cherry blossoms. Aren't they cute? I think I'm gonna build my house like on this hill here. But I'm probably also gonna flatten some of this hill. Because it's so high. I just gotta figure out where I'm gonna place this house. I'm gonna start building. I can make pretty houses. Oh, is this like a chasm right here? Yep. It's kind of perfect for me because I just end up digging down. Yeah, you gotta make it flat for to make it so you can make a huge ass like a castle. That's probably what I'm gonna do. I'm probably gonna, I don't know, but for now we're gonna make like a hut. I love it. You're like exactly. Is this the cousin that we were watching? Is it Lobo? That said that you were weird for doing that. How dare he? This is why I'm the favorite sibling. Right, twin? I love that you just agree. You're like, yep, this is why. Oh, I love it. Oh, gosh. Is he streaming right now or tonight? He is? Or was the yes for something else? Or the indeed? Oh, okay. It might be after our bedtime. Or my bedtime. uh, I did say I was probably gonna get off at like 9 because that's when my mom's gonna get home and her and I kind of had plans. But yeah. Yeah, that's true. He said, didn't he yesterday he got on at like 7 or like. I know I didn't start watching till like 8 or something, but yeah. I don't know. Maybe he'll just do like another stream that'll, whenever he starts it, he'll end it at midnight or whatever. Like, I want to hear his scary stories, but I also don't want to hear them at night. Because at night, my room is so dark and my imagination goes everywhere. You know what I mean? I'm like, I can't be trusted. It also makes me think we should do something. It would. We should do some of the horror stuff that we were planning to do with RP. um, like we talked about with like Nico and stuff. That'll be fun. I also think we forgot to do something in the RP. I'm pretty sure we forgot to have like Ame talking with Subigus and like putting a little fear of God in him that he would tell his wife about some of the stuff Subigus has done. I know this is way too small, but I'm gonna have to build. I'm gonna have to build. I have to make a lot of shovels and like build stuff. And then we'll expand this. Because for now, this is just like storage. No. Why did it do that? Come on. There we go. Now I can put some stuff away. I'm putting most of the stuff away. I'm not going to organize it now, just because I'm going to need these, sort of. think I need this. The raw iron and the cobblestone. I do like the new look of the raw iron where it just looks like a lump. It's kind of funny. Do I not have coal? I'm pretty sure I picked up, yeah, at one point. I know I did that much. Somebody find me. Probably 4 for now, right? I think. We'll see. So I can level this place to this level, I think. Oh, this is gonna take me a while. Or at least I'll make a square of it flat. I don't know how big I'm gonna do it, but I don't know if I'll level this whole thing right now. Let's see. Like, I want to talk more about the RP, but we were gonna do it together. We're talking about it, so I'm like, we'll do this more when I'm on one of your streams. um. Hmm. Sorry, I'm quiet. I can kind of hear my brother on the phone with my mom right now. I think she's at Target picking up some stuff that we need, and then she'll be home. She'll probably be home in less than an hour, and that's when I'll hop off. um. But yeah, the RP is something we've been doing for a while now, and we did, like I said, finish a part of it, but we kind of been on a break from it because I have been injured, and it's very annoying for me to text. It gets frustrating when I'm like, I could have written this so fast a while ago, but now it's like the bane of my existence. I don't know, and it was putting me in my head about my arm being broken a little bit, like when I'm getting annoyed by these like minor things. But the video games have helped now that I can play them. Because it feels like normal. Does that make sense? I think it makes sense. Oh, let me think. There are other things that I've been crazy about, that, like I said, aren't horror related. But, there's Good Omens. I have other, like, slightly minor fixations. Like, I got into, Scream fandom. Like, yeah, I do really like the first movie. I watched the second one, I wanna watch the rest. Oh, yeah, we're not gonna make this, okay. How, I'm being careful, I do not wanna fall. Um, Maybe we'll make it up to here? And this is my cutoff point for like where I'm gonna make the mountain flat. I don't want to be too close to the like chasm, but I do want to use up as much area as I can, make the mountain as flat as I can. Some of this I might do like off camera, but some of it is like, you know, I do want to record some of my experience with me playing, even if it's like just me, you know, sort of grinding or like not doing much. I mean, Minecraft isn't, you know, the most exciting game to play um, when I'm playing on peaceful. Sorry. But this is just like me relaxing and talking to you guys. So there's that. Like that was my plan. Um, Although I do have Outlast, so I could play it. Although, Michaela, would you? I feel like I would wait till my arm is healed though, because I'm pretty sure that the game's gonna make me jump, and I am not about to hurt my arm jumping. That would be so stupid. um, but okay, like let's make that a goal for after I'm healed, and I would do it during the day, cause ain't no way. But I kind of would want to do whistleblower because I know most of. I'm pretty sure I could do most of the path without cheating, like without being like trying to look something up and being like, which way am I going? Um, I don't know that I know the normal Outlast game that well, but do you think I'm sure people watch it, but I mean like do you think I should do whistleblower first, or do you think I should like try to study Outlast first and then try to do and then do that one? I think Outlast is a longer game than the Whistleblower DLC though, isn't it? It's like you don't? Um you never watched like Michael and Gavin play it? It's so funny to watch them play. Oh gosh. I love it. I could spit lore at you right now. You couldn't do anything. Hold on. My mother is calling me. Yes? Hello. Okay, hold on. I'll be right back, guys. Let me put the cute little screen. Okay, I'll be right back. So yeah, I have the game and the DLC, and I keep telling myself I'll be brave enough to play it, and I'm not. Oh my gosh, my phone is at like 9% battery. I better plug it in because I go to sleep listening to stuff. Um, like I said, I don't I don't necessarily go to sleep with watching Outlast. I take naps with it, but that's during the day. Once it's night, I don't look at scary stuff. Well, I don't really consider Outlast scary stuff, but once the lights are off in my room, it's scary stuff. Um, so yeah. Or like I mentioned earlier in the last stream, that I think more like when I'm injured or that's more when I'm likely to. I have forgotten which way I came from. I think came from this way, didn't I? Oh, it's a beautiful horse. That I'm gonna keep all the dirt because sometimes you can like build like a plateau or something. Um, or I can add to the ground that's in front of me too, and make it flat later. I think I watch more of these horror stuff when I'm like injured or sick and stuff because I don't know, it becomes a comfort. Oh, well, it's fine, I guess. Oop. That works. I probably need them all. Like on the one hand, Whistleblower is supposed to be kind of like the prequel, but it's also definitely not. Because the games at one point they they match, like they end in the same spot, sort of, or just a little bit after. And there's things that happen that are like, oh, like from the first game, you're like, oh, Miles isn't here yet, and then there's other parts where you're like, Miles is here, like there's a part with a chapel burning. Holy shit, sis! Look at how much I would have died right there. I don't even have a bed. Oh my god. Oh my god, I just realized I don't have a bed here. I'd be fucked. Okay. New thing. Perfect. I have 3, so I'm gonna make some shears. So I can make some. My life flashed before my eyes. Could you imagine? Oh my god, how upset I would have been. Okay. We're gonna quick find some sheep. Probably. Is that a sheep down there? Or is that a duck? I mean, chicken. Please be a sheep. Dang it. It is a duck. I could cheat probably and just conjure up some wool, but if there's some sheep around here, I'll just do that. But I'll look a little bit first. Can I? All that hard work exactly. Finding this place. I would have cried. Nah, I wouldn't have, but you get what I mean. I would have been so sad. I'd be like, No. Oh, there's a village here. Did I see this before I went over here? I think I did see it, but I kind of forgot it was here. I'm gonna steal a bed. That's what's gonna happen. Because I don't see. You have ended the stream. Just like kill me. It's done. Oh gosh. There's no sheep around here. I guess I'll just steal a bed and then later. Squidwards. I'm stealing a bed, don't mind me. I'll bring it back when I make one of myself. Because I will probably make one eventually. Like, we'll have to, once we set up camp, it's like we will have to eventually leave it. I've been like, bye, y'all, good night. Yeah, I know you would have been. Uh, it's very rare that I see you upset, but this would have been one of those instances where you you keep pretty level head, but like you've been angry before, but like usually it's at your computer, and I always think it's kind of cute because it's just very rare. And I know you want to break something. Oh gosh. It's so funny. Your computer's like a masochist or something. Cause it likes it when you threaten it, cause then it works. It's like, Sam, I'll stop playing around. Like as soon as you're like, you better straighten out, it does. And I think it's just so funny. There we go. I just realized I could have typed in. I could have just been like set spawn point. I still could. Sometimes I don't trust where the bed being the spawn point. Because I've made like compasses before and they don't point at the bed. They point to like the first area I was spawned in, and I'm like, this is BS. Yeah, we're gonna set world spawn. Yeah, it should point you to the bed. I mean, once you set the world spawn to here, the way I just did, it usually points at the bed. But like I said, sometimes it hasn't, and then that's been like a problem where it's like I was going in circles and then I realized like I'm at my starting area and I never stay in the starting area. Yeah, you have to just set the world spawn, I think, for your character. Um, but yeah. If I played Outlast, would you hop on a call with me when I played it? You wouldn't watch it? That's so funny. You would just hear me jumping out of my skin. That's pretty funny. Oh my god. I mean, to be honest, I'm not sure I would finish the game. I would just try to play it. Um, because I'm sure there would be like a part where I'm just like, you know what? Fuck this. I would give up very quickly. Um, I know you are. But I feel like it'd be less scary for you because it's me playing it. And I'll give up way quicker than you would stop watching, probably. I would also be able to tell you where all the scares are. Like, I know where all the, like, these, program jump scares are. Like, I'd be like, oh, this guy's about to pop out. I would still jump when I see it, but, like, I would be able to warn you. I'd be like, by the way, this guy is about to do this thing. You might not want to see this part. This is gory. Stuff like that. I could also probably show you like slightly fucked up parts that people sometimes miss. Because like I said, I've watched a lot of people play it, and there's some people that like there's scenes that come up that are supposed to like, if you don't have your the camcorder up in that game, like if you're not recording when you walk in on some scenes or when you walk past some things, you don't get these notes that Miles or Waylon writes for themselves. That's like, what the fuck? Like you don't get the character's reaction if you don't record stuff. And sometimes that explains what's happening. Like, I remember Miles walks in on like a scene where someone's doing something to a corpse. Like, this is the reason why men don't get hired at mortuaries. And I remember someone, I don't remember who I watched play it. It might have been like Markiplier or PewDiePie or something like that. But they were playing it and they completely they missed that happened. Like, they didn't realize what happened. They were just like, saw the part where the person yelled at them. And I was like, you did not catch on what was going on there? Where other people have immediately understood what was happening. But like I said, it's if you have the camera up, and you use the X-ray at the right time, or if you record it, because some people just forget to use their camera when it's not when the hallways are lit, and it's like, remember the point of this game is that you're getting evidence. So there's that. Or I could point out like with Whistleblower, the end game villain, basically, Eddie Gluskin, my favorite boy, is the first guy that you see in the first game, or he's the first like variant you see. And I like that some people point out in like the fix that I read, like there's a reason one of his lines when he meets you is like, I mean, there's like the iconic part of like darling when he pops up in the window, but like one of the few lines he says after that is like, we've met before, haven't we? I know your face. Maybe just before I woke up is what he says. Like, and it's implied that he kind of thinks that like you're part of his dream, but you also got to remember that part of this the facility is that they are doing experiments with dreams. Like they're implanting horrible things in your dreams, and that's why some of the characters get so stressed out and why they go crazy, and why some of them believe stuff. And so Eddie's saying, I think I bet you, but it might have been in a dream. Although he says now, although it feels like now, it's a dream with you. I have it written down somewhere because I love his lines. They're so creepy. I think he says like, oh, although it feels like a dream now being here with you. That's what he says. But one of the things that I love is like a well-dressed serial killer, and that he is. Like all these other variants are wearing like prison, like what looks like prison outfits, and this guy has like made himself a tailored suit. And I'm such a sucker for a well dressed man in a vest. Oh my god. I probably shouldn't tell people that because they might abuse it, but it's fine. I don't date anymore. So if someone wants to try and impress me being well dressed, I'm gonna be impressed, but at the same time, I'm probably not gonna be like, you get me immediately. Oh Christ. And anyways, I only really like these like serial killer characters in on like as these characters. I don't like in real life. If I thought you were a serial killer, I'd be scared and I would like I'd be like, no. All the alarm bells would be going off and I'd be like, mm-mm. I also love characters that you can just like sink your teeth into. That you can like really look at their lore and be like, what is up with this guy? Why is he so fucked up? It's great. But again, I like my serial killer characters and stuff like that, but I also don't like I'm not one of those girls that likes actual like real life serial killers. No. I'm not one of those. Just the just the you know, the fake ones. Which is why I like Hannibal. It does help that it's a well dressed man that never yells. Some people have pointed out like, oh, Hannibal, probably one of the reasons that us girls like him is that he's not a man that ever raises his voice. Like not once I think does Hannibal ever yell. And he's not like yes, he's a violent character because they mention he's like he is like a sadist. But um when he like kills a woman or anything like that, it's not any different from when he kills a man. I think the show creator also mentioned this, is that when they kill women in the show, they do not sexualize it, which is not typical for a lot of crime shows. Because Hannibal at the beginning is very much a crime show. It's like a police procedural because we get it from the perspective of Will Graham, who is an FBI consultant. You know, a little bit like Sherlock is a consulting detective. Where it's like he has special privilege because of his brain power, but um, yeah, he's not officially like an agent or anything. So there's that. Um, but yeah, it's and some of the ways some of the things in the show are shown are the way they look that way is because it's from Will Graham's perspective. Like some things look like Hannibal's kills honestly look beautiful. Like they call them tableaus, and it's like it's because it's like art. It really is. And some of the great stuff about the show is that some of the like not scary parts, but the gory parts, they did the lighting so dark, so it's like you can't really see anything, but it's great because your brain fills in the blanks, which is an underrated tactic that a lot of horror stuff doesn't use anymore. That's like old school horror. Where it's sometimes you do not need to see the monster. Honestly, sometimes things are scarier when you don't see it, you know, because your brain will conjure up something that's way scarier than what is on what anyone could put on screen. Um, and I like that Hannibal kind of uses that when it comes to the gore. Like they make the blood look dark, which is great. and they make the scenes dark, and it's like I can't even see it, but I know it's bad. Oh, but yeah, like one of the things about a lot of crime shows is when they have a woman killed, it's kind of sexualized. Like they mention like, oh, the woman was raped, or you know, um, it's and with horror, a lot of one of the big tropes of horror is that there's always going to be sex in like a horror movie, and it's because of the. I remember we talked about this in one of my like college classes. I think in my first semester, so it was before I met Michaela, but it was in a creative writing class, and we talked about horror because we were doing like some different genres, I think, every week or something. And I remember when the horror genre came up, they were like, well, so why do we have sex in those movies a lot? And it was like, because um, fear, like the emotion is one of like the basic fear. It's a basic emotion, and kind of so is like being horny. It's kind of like it's a natural, common, basic thing that we have. And so that's what horror plays on. It plays on a lot of like visceral reactions. And sometimes with that comes sex. And so that's why we see it a lot in horror. That's why, there's always like the sex scene. Besides that, it's tropey of like, oh, the couple that has sex is gonna die. But, um, yeah. It's, it's because it's a visceral feeling that they can pull on before they show you like all the horror stuff. And I guess it's like another like emotion that requires some like adrenaline as well. So it kind of gets you hyped in a way. Or I guess that's also why like some people like to be scared when they're in that mood. I don't, but you get what I mean. Um, like that's why some people are like they look for the thrill, I guess, right? Or they have like non-con fantasies, sort of. I'm not one of those people, but I mean, not that I want to hate on what other people like, but I do have a problem with non-con stuff. Um, but yeah, this is one of the shows that doesn't have that. I think there's one subtle mention of a character being raped, and it's not explicit. We don't see it. There's that. Like there's no woman getting grabbed and thrown like with that kind of intention, which is what a lot of shows do. Like they'll show, a woman getting grabbed, and she's that's what the guy is gonna do if he gets his hands on her. And there's this other show that I like that it's called Prodigal Son, and there's like another guy, main character guy that he's got special privileges sort of because he's smart. Um, I remember his name is Bright, or that's like the nickname he goes by, and it has Michael Sheen in it. That's mostly why I watched it, and because some of the reviews were like, oh, it's kind of like Hannibal, and it sort of is, but I'm also like, I feel like that's a little bit like slander, like because the very first episode is an S&M murder or a BDSM murder, where they figure out the guy, the profile that they're looking for is this guy that's he's not really into BDSM, but that's how he like plays it out. He's an abuser, He's he's not a real dom, but that's kind of how they present it, and I'm just like, that's not how the BDSM community works. And I don't like the misrepresentation. I'm not exactly part of the community, but I know enough, and I like to do research about it. Um, I'm I'm interested in the community. Doesn't that make sense? But um, because of that, I have all the respect for people that keep it as a lifestyle, and one of their like hallmarks is safe, sane, consensual. And I'm like, in no part of this episode was that like noted, and I kind of don't like it when stuff like that comes up in crime shows or stuff like that. Um, oh, what was that? Did I press? Okay, that's F that does that. So I was like, I guess it's like Hannibal, and like we have some of the same like. There's this character who wants to get close to the guy that's has the brilliant mind. In this case, it's the guy's dad who is a serial killer, and because he has this brilliant mind and he knows how to manipulate this serial killer. That's why he goes to him. Like it's his dad, and he kind of knows his dad has this belief that he loves him. Um, Not in a creepy way or anything, but he knows like his dad has these values of like a family, and that even though he was a serial killer, and he's pretty sure at one point his dad like drugged him as a kid, so that way he wouldn't tell anyone about something he saw. He's also fairly certain that his dad will not try to harm him, especially because he's the only kid that goes to see him, and he knows his dad is like, just desperate for his attention. He's the prodigal son. So he's like, if I offer to come see him more, then he will consult on my cases, and he will. One, he won't be bored. He'll have time to talk with me, and I'll be able to catch the other killer, which is somewhat what Hannibal does, or with Will at one point. That's more like season 3. Um, or like in the movies with Clarice Sterling, right? She goes to Hannibal and is like, Doctor, I need your help. I need the in to figure out how this serial killer works, why his mind is like this. Help me figure out what I'm looking for. So, yeah. Um, I do love that Michael Sheen plays a psycho, and it's amazing. I wish they had another season, but they got their last season got cut short. I got it itch in my ear. I hate when these happen. Yeah. Mm, I did like Sherlock. I wish there was more of it. I think it. I think they said at one point they were gonna make more, but I don't know if that's still true. Because I think one of the reasons they stopped making was because COVID hit. But now it's been a while, so I don't know if they're gonna do it or if they're just like, meh, it's fine where it ended. I don't know. I don't know that I've seen the ending. I think I keep on putting off that last episode. Because I don't want to know. I have this really bad habit when it comes to shows that I like that I don't want to see the ending. And it takes me a while to make myself watch the ending. Well, and there's shows that I would love to watch more of. Um, that I know that the ending's gonna be sad and I just can't do it. Like, my cousin is crazy about the show Merlin, and I cannot blame her. The two main leads are adorable. Um, but I do. She kind of did tell me like the ending because I did tell her like, oh, I get to like this one part in like season two, and there's I think it's like a 6 season show. Um, it might be shorter than that. I just remember the show being semi long. For like shows that I would normally watch, and um, I told her like, as soon as this episode came up, where they like the dragon has warned Merlin like, hey, if you don't, if you intervene and you help this kid out, he is going to grow up and he is going to be the cause of all your problems. Don't let this kid leave, or let him leave and get caught, like let him be killed. And Merlin's like, he's a child. I can't do that. I can't have that on my conscience. I was like, no, they said it right there that it was gonna come back, and like, I was just like, yeah, no, this is not gonna end well. And I told her that, and she was like, can I tell you the ending of the show then? Because you're probably not gonna see it. And I was just like, okay. Um, and so she spoiled it for me. I mean, with my permission, right? But when she did tell me the ending, I was like, I know what they said, and I was just like, yeah. Like I kind of already had an inkling of that's where things would go. Um, because I have this thing where, me and the girls have watched movies together or like shows together, and I'm kind of like sometimes they are like shocked and outraged by some of the stuff that happens, and I'm kind of like, but from a writer's point of view, that's how you up the ante though. Like you're watching the Winx, and at the end, like at the very end of the first season, someone important dies, and it's like, and it's like, why would they kill that character? And it's like, because she was in their way. What do you mean? It's like she announced she would be one of the people fighting this person, and it's like, why would we think that she would be safe? Is was my head thinking. I'm like, I know we all love this character now, but it's just it wasn't gonna happen. They could not keep her around and then up the ante for another season. It wouldn't happen. Um, just like with the RP too. Like I'm like, we can't have the characters keep going without upping the ante at some point. So yeah, I think my mom is home and I'm gonna have to get off now. But yeah, I just I wanted to keep making it flat, but I do have something I have to do before bed tonight. So there's that. Although I can't answer the RP now, so there's that. But yeah, I've probably rambled enough for tonight. I might do more of this on my own time. We'll see. Or if I'm just gonna record and ramble more. So I mean, not tonight, but you get what I mean. Like tomorrow night or whatever. Tomorrow's Friday. I thought today was Wednesday, and then I realized it was Thursday, and I was like, oh my gosh, where did the week go? But yeah, all right. Let's see the title. In the meantime, I'll close this thingy up. You're gonna get on tomorrow with The Sims. Ooh. Do we want to like actually talk about the RP tomorrow then? I'll get on with you and I'll do Minecraft. Or well, I guess I could do The Sims now that I'm doing it like this too. It would just be a pain in the butt to download everything. But I'm like, if we both do Sims, we can show some of the characters. Oh, okay. Plus, I would have to download Sims too. Yeah. I mean, if you end up like wanting to talk about the RP, you can just like call me on Discord and be like, "We're talking about it," and I don't know, I'll probably be streaming like this again tomorrow or something. I don't know. We'll see. But alright. Bye. Love you. Mwah.